Hi everybody, Mike Amato here, and today I want to talk about something that is a little bit esoteric, but I think it's an important distinction that we need to make on two words that are very important drivers of our successful transformation to the outcome that we want in our lives. Again, business, career, relationships, whatever it might be. And those two words are motivation and inspiration. And if you look at those, we say things a lot of times like you motivated me, or I am now motivated, or you inspired me, I am now inspired, but that doesn't mean the same thing. So let's kind of pick this apart just a little bit and start with the word inspiration. So inspire, the root of the word literally means to fill our lungs with air, to inspire. And the meaning is to light up our soul, to light up our being. And so if you think about to be human, means that we have three important components, and one is intellect, the brain, one is an emotional system, and one is our physical being, our physical body. And the way our world is driven today, we focus really heavily on the body. We focus very heavily on intellectual development, intellectual stimulation, and we try to drive transformations through either one of those. And they're not successful because actually it's your emotional system that leads your development. It leads your thought process in terms of things you need to understand intellectually and also the things that you need to do physically. It's the emotional state that you need to be in to make things happen. So to inspire means to line up all three, or align your three parts of you, intellect, emotion system, and body, and align them in such a way that causes you to go with the flow of your life. That's your true meaning. And now when you want to align those, that's called becoming conscious. So inspiration comes only from you. It can't come from somebody else. And at best, what I can hope is that something I say to you, I do maybe say something a little differently. Maybe I say it with a style that resonates. That's my hope. But it causes you to become inspired. But inspiration comes from you. And connecting those three parts of what it takes to be human actually unlocks a fourth part, and that's called empowerment. And empowerment has three parts to that, okay? That is the inspiration we're talking about, which unlocks creativity. Very important for innovation, causes you to think of things differently. And then third, it unlocks the decision-making part of you that's called intuition. Okay, so all animals have an intuition. It's knowing without knowing that you know, okay? So you unlock those three things when you become fully conscious, when you become fully aligned, and that's called inspiration. Inspiration, think of it like your life is a river, and that's when you're going along effortlessly along your life journey because you're now lined up for your purpose. So inspiration is a big deal, and it's something that you want to think about, something that you want to do in terms of aligning the three parts of you that it means to be human. Now, motivation is fuel for action. Okay, so if a lion chases you, you're motivated to run. It doesn't have to be a positive thing. A boss can tell you, if you don't finish that report by 4 p.m. today, you're fired. That motivates you, probably either to leave the company or to get the project done. So the idea is that motivation doesn't have to be positive. It can be from the inside, it can be from the outside, but it calls you to action. So motivation is very important, and that's something that I hopefully can do for you, is to motivate you. But if you think about the way these two words, how they interact together and how they really fuel your transformation is, think of innovation as a seed. It's inside of you, it's that seed, and motivation is the water that causes it to sprout. That's what these two words really mean, and that's how they can kind of help you in terms of your journey. Now, the things that you want to do to line them up are things, we'll just do a quick exercise for you. So what are things that prevent alignment? And actually, a lot of us spend a lot of our time and a lot of our life not in alignment. And we know it and we feel it and it's not comfortable. And that's why people say my life has been a struggle. Okay, again, regardless of circumstances, that what's going on is that they're not aligned in all parts of their being, okay? And so when people are not aligned, what causes that is a lot of it is driven by, let's do an exercise. If you could close your eyes and you could think of somebody you just don't like. Think about a boss maybe that was not nice to you. Think about kid that picked on you, a bully. Whatever you want to think about. And if you really watch, you're going to notice a couple things that happen. If you really do this exercise, you're going to notice some things that happen, okay? One is your body physically gets tense. So although you're imagining this in your mind, you're actually affecting your body. It shows there's a connection. Your breath actually gets shallower when you're frustrated, when you're angry. Now that's limiting your circulation. It's limiting your ability to inspire. Obviously, if you're taking shallow breaths and you're not breathing regularly, that's why breath is so important, and that's why relaxation and meditation are so important into helping us really become our full selves and be in full alignment. So, if this exercise, if you watch this, and it does cause you to constrict yourself, constrict your being, you can see that you're not in alignment. Okay, so opposite of that is there's things you can do, and number one is focus on situations. Think about getting in a helicopter and observing them versus judging them. Okay, as soon as we judge something, that person we were visualizing a moment ago as bad, you make that judgment, and I asked you to make it, but you made that judgment. All of a sudden, it launches a cycle of being that then reinforces non-alignment. Okay, it reinforces an uncomfortable feeling, a tenseness that is not productive to doing our best work. Alternatively, if you observe it and say, that's interesting, I wonder what's causing me to feel that way. Let me relax, let me breathe while I think about this. Now you're assessing and not judging, and now you're on a whole nother cycle. And that cycle is called alignment, and that cycle is called now you're becoming conscious. Okay, so when you're defensive, you're not conscious. When you're defensive, you're in that almost a victim mindset. But when you are conscious and you're assessing, not judging, you're observing and curious, you now are in a relaxed frame of mind, and all parts of you are now becoming aligned. And in fact, that's how you become aligned, is to look at things from an objective and assessment, a curiosity, why am I acting this way? And then physically overcoming the initial reaction, and you all of a sudden change. That is what alignment means. That's called to become conscious. Now, how does this fuel your journey? Well, it's massively important to be aligned with all parts of you if you're going to succeed. A lot of times that's why we don't succeed, is because we're not in alignment. We're not truly inspired, and we prevent ourselves from being inspired. And so we take little hits of caffeine called motivation and think that's going to be enough. It's not enough. So I want you to think about this in your journey. I want to think about where you want to go. Now be general and back up. Start observing things, including your body, including how do you feel, your emotional state, because that leads your body reaction, and it leads your intellectual activity. And then be aware of how you can align all three of these things, and how stimulus in the environment causes you to get off track. Stay on track, and you'll find yourself being inspired, and then the motivation can come in, almost like the flame for a candle. Okay, the wick is the inspiration, and the motivation can then light that wick. So there you go. That's my conversation today, that I hope resonates with you in terms of something that seems very esoteric, but I think you'll agree with me that it's actually crucial for fueling your journey. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you soon.